This podcast is brought to you by the following sponsors. Your San Diego County Toyota dealers. We've got what it takes. Fix Auto. Corky's Pest Control. And Lolita's Family of Restaurants.
Hey there, sports fans. Christian
What's up, guys?
Pedersen, full-time hoops.
AB in the building.
You know it's in the building. The brackets are in the building.
Look at this.
It's Bracketology 102. We've made it past the first round. We're now into the second round. Aaron, give me one word to summarize the first round of the Division III playoffs.
Predictable.
Would that happen to be because you had a perfect bracket?
That would be correct.
Well, you think you can do it again?
Affirmative.
All right, let's get to our game picks. Starting with the very first one, we got Coronado, Mt Miguel. Professor, it's all yours.
Well, Coronado's the number one seed in this bracket for a reason. They've only lost 3 games all year. And, you know, despite losing a game to Christian toward the end of the season, they have looked like the Division III favorite pretty much all season. I don't think that changes. There are a couple of kids that just go so far under the radar, because of the schedule that they've played, because of the remoteness of the peninsula, whatever you want to say. But Miles Manning as a junior has had a really strong year. And then, of course, DJ Jackson as a senior is one of the best rebounders I've ever seen in the San Diego section at 6'5". Just an absolute beast on the board. But you can't forget about sophomore Caden Gentry and what he's done. Caden's had a really strong year. I think he either led the team in scoring this year or was second in the team in scoring this year as a sophomore. And I think that firepower is too much to handle for Mt Miguel. A Mt Miguel team that's had a solid year, finished second in their league, the Grossmont Valley League. We won't talk about the bottom half of that league because I've already dissed it too many times on this very podcast. But Darian Norwood, if this is your last game, kudos for having such an excellent career. Ricky Harvey, is a kid that I saw, very early in his career at a showcase that I hosted, the Clash of the Classes in 2014. It's good to see you have a strong senior year. And James Allen, I look forward to having you at the cream of the county this year, but I think the show, goes on for Coronado. I picked the Islanders.
I'm going to agree with you. I think that Coronado is a big-time team that has a little-time hype. I think there's not enough understanding about how good this team is and how good they can be, because I don't think they've played their best basketball yet. I think they're running out of time to do it, obviously, because there's only a couple games left in the season, but Coronado's going to keep getting better. Yeah. So I say Islanders win this one. Tommy, how about you?
Islanders, man, they've been a team we haven't talked about enough this year. I think we should talk about them more. They've looked great all season. They look like the favorite in Division III, in my opinion. I will take Coronado.
Okay, down to the team that Coronado or Mt Miguel will take on. We got Otay Ranch, Point Loma. Aaron?
This is an interesting one. Both teams got it done in the first round. Point Loma had a little bit of a scare from Bonita Vista. Bonita Vista, without one of its better players, was only down 2 heading into the fourth quarter, and Point Loma added some points on later on down the line. I'm going to pick Otay Ranch in this one.
Oh!
This is the first time I've actually picked against Point Loma all year. I've
done it. I've picked against Point Loma.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out well.
No, we know how it turned out. Yeah. You know what? I love the future for Point Loma. I think the future for them, with Yassine Garam, Dakari Allen, Tyler Morris, it's 3 freshmen who have contributed all year, and of course you've got juniors like Kyle Johnson, who who came out of nowhere this year. I didn't even know about the kid, and to his credit, he's done a lot of great things. And of course, senior Darnell Johnson trying to go out on top. But the one thing I will say about this matchup is that with all that size and all that skill, I'm not sure they have an answer for Devin Lloyd in the middle.
He's big.
He is a big boy. This is a kid that's going to play linebacker at Utah, and he's built like a 6'5" David Boston. I mean, he's built like Megatron, for crying out loud. No, he's a big dude.
I just had a funny image of Megatron playing basketball.
Yeah, I think he did play basketball, and he was pretty
No,
good.
I'm talking about the...
Oh, like Megatron playing
like
basketball?
robotic
Yeah,
Megatron
got it. No, this is not that Megatron, but this Megatron is actually not bad on the basketball court. And Chris Stanek, who had an outstanding season for Otay Ranch as well. I think this is a close one, but I think in the end, the experience of Otay and just the beast in the middle that is Devin Lloyd, puts them over the top.
I'm going to disagree with you. So this is probably where you're going to be perfect and I'm not going to be again. But I'm going to go with Point Loma here for two reasons. One, I love youth. I think that Yassine Garam is a very talented player who also has no concept of losing in the playoffs. So, because he hasn't lost in the playoffs. Yeah. So there is no worry of, this team has this matchup or that matchup. It's just, hey, let's play our game. Let's play pointer basketball. Let's go out there and win it. I also am rooting for this one to happen because I want to see Coronado Point Loma Part 3.
Oh, man.
I want to see that happen in the next round of the playoff. Like, that would be really fun to have happen. So that's partially why I'm pulling for the Point Loma Pointers to get this one done.
Back in my mind, I wouldn't mind seeing that matchup either.
Yeah, I'd go to that game.
Yes.
I might even pay to go to that game. I mean, I don't have to because I'm a media credential, but we know you're in the media. Okay. Tommy, how about you?
This can be a tight one, and it should be a tight one because it's a 4-5 matchup, but I'm going to go with the 4 seed. I'm going to go with the Pointers.
Okay, on to the other side of the bracket. Okay. Let's talk about Carlsbad, Montgomery. Very North County, very South County. So how does this one play out?
I like Carlsbad in this one. You talked about it last week on the podcast of how Carlsbad came into this season with very little expected of them.
And they answered all the questions.
Answered all of them. Solid sophomores, but what really got them over the top was their senior class. Bronson Montgomery, Stone Stapleton, Jack Clinton and crew really did have, a solid year. And then, of course, they had Jalen Richmond kind of fall into their lap right at the beginning of season from Cathedral Catholic. So that youth and that experience makes them, and the link that they have. I mean, they start, their starters outside of Bronson Montgomery all range between 6'3" and 6'5", and just rangy athletes, and that gives teams trouble, especially a team with the composition of Montgomery, which is a smaller team. Now, I might totally be wrong, and the lack of size might be an advantage for Montgomery, but I think that the fact that they've got to travel to North County, all the way from Chula Vista, and they're coming in without the size to handle Carlsbad's length and activity level on defense, I think the Lancers take this one.
I'm going to agree with you on this. Carlsbad has really, to me, been a very steady team. Is their word? They've just gotten a little bit better every single week, and that's what we've seen out of them. When you have
Torrey Pines, they'll tell you
exactly. So when you have a team like that, you don't pick against them in the playoffs. I'm glad that you brought up Bronson Montgomery because you're going to hear a lot of, and Montgomery with the basket, but not for the Aztecs. You're going to hear a lot of that for Carlsbad. Lancers are going to take this one big. I say this is going to be a 20-point game. This is going to be a you kind of walk away from this going, oh, wow, is Carlsbad now the favorite to win this bracket? And that's the kind of momentum I see here. Tommy, how do you see it?
Carlsbad. Just keep it simple. Carlsbad.
All right, the last one in this bracket, Sage Creek. Their last batch of seniors still rolling strong in the playoffs, or their first batch of seniors, I should say. They got to take on Granite Hills. So a bird or a cat, who wins the fight?
I'm picking the bird. Actually, no. Granite Hills Sage Creek is a bobcat.
Yeah, a cat and a bird.
What?
An eagle and a cat.
Oh, that's right. You know what? It looked like a soldier for some reason. I'm picking the cat, actually. I'm picking Sage Creek in the upset. I'm picking the 10 seed.
Okay.
Here's why. Again, just balance. Balance. Granite Hills I've seen him a couple of times this year, and it's all about Ryan Kelly. It's all about Cameron Spitzer and Jordan Rogers. Outside of those three, the offensive contributions are minimal. This Sage Creek team comes at you from multiple directions, and they come out of a league where they've been tested. And, just like I said when we talked about the Division III preview last week, I said that the 2-15 matchup was going to be the closest that you could see to a 2-15 upset was in this one. And, of course, the score would indicate that this wasn't a blowout. This was a close game. I think Sage Creek, the seniors continue their push. I think they make a big statement down at El Cajon, and I see them moving on. And I apologize, guys, for that mistake right there. That was really embarrassing. I do know the difference between a bird and a cat. I just don't know when the bird is heavily armored.
That's perfect. I love the plot line of Sage Creek this year. Mm-hmm. Like you said, they've got balance. They've got people on people on people. They've got they're a team. They're a well-rounded team, but they're also just a group of guys who have kind of continuously been put through the ringer for their 4 years of existence now. Xavier Allison and company have had to be the people blazing the trail for what is Sage Creek basketball. And we're seeing that Sage Creek basketball is put your head down and go to work. And I think that's going to come out with Sage Creek on top here. Tommy, how about you?
Sage Creek making me look good in their last game. I'm going to roll with them. I'm going to keep going with the Bobcats. Give me Sage Creek in the final game for Division III.
So that wraps up Division III. Folks, we want to hear from you. You think we're going to get it right? You think we're going to get it wrong? Is Aaron going to get another perfect week?
Probably not.
And if any of you are handy with the Photoshop, send us some diagrams of breakdowns of what birds and cats look like.
Twitter, you know where to find me, at FulltimeHoops1. I'm not shy. I will respond to every single challenge to my academic upbringing. USC, I apologize for letting you guys down.
I'm glad you went there. I'll give an 8 clap, hail to the Sons of Westwood. And folks, we will see you at a game.